Hey guys, welcome to Drew Code Sports Talk, and we are going to be talking on this video. Another crazy week in the NFL, Cody. First, we're going to be talking about there's a three-way tie in the AFC West. Who wins it? And the Seahawks dominate the Eagles. Who is your best team in the NFC? And finally, the Falcons are currently out of the playoffs.
Yep. Can
they still get in? All right. Keep watching. All right, Cody, we are going to be talking about the crazy AFC West. Honestly, I did not see this happening. Even in the start of the year, I felt like the Raiders were a little bit better of a team.
Right.
Obviously, that has come to bite us in the butt.
Big time.
But we have the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. All three are tied for the AFC West. Who do you think comes out on top?
Okay, last video that we did, which I'll actually link at the top, I said that I believe the Chiefs would figure it out. They lost to the Jets this past Sunday. Defense was nowhere to be found. It's not an offensive problem. So for anybody that's a Chiefs hater or lover that wants Patrick Mahomes to go in, pump the brakes, because Alex Smith has been playing really well as far as an offense. However, the offensive coordinator needs to figure out how to get Kareem Hunt back involved. But as far as Alex Smith, he's just doing everything he can.
Well, he threw 4 touchdowns in the last
Exactly.
against the Jets.
It's not like he's throwing all these interceptions or creating turnovers. No, he's getting the job done. It's that defense. Revis Island is just a deserted pile of dirt. You had Marcus Peters that gets thrown out of the game because he threw a flag in his hands. Well, actually, he didn't really get thrown out of the game. He thought he did, and it was awkward. Anyways, but you don't. All you have is Derek Johnson. You have Justin Houston, that's your really only linebacker core. But you don't have your heart of your defense, Eric Berry, here, because he's been injured the whole season, of course. So I'm actually going to jump on the bandwagon. I'm going with the Chargers. They've got the best defense in the division. Here's why. They have more interceptions as a team than all of the AFC West. They are also second in sacks in the league. They've got Phillip Rivers, which God help me by saying this. Phillip Rivers is probably the best quarterback in that division right now. And I'm not even saying talent-wise. I'm not saying he's the best talent. I'm just saying he's probably the best in that division as far as a leader, just because of what he's able to do. I mean, they started, 0-3, 0-4 or something like that, and then they've won their last 6 out of 5 games. So really, the role that they're on is impressive, and they've got the running game to prove it. They've got the change of speed backs. The receivers are doing their jobs, and that defense is holding it down. So I'm going with the Chargers. I really don't see how I really don't know how the Raiders can really get over the hump of where they were to start the season, but I think right now the Chargers, with their momentum, they're the best team in the AFC West, and I think that they're going to take the crown.
Oh man, it seems like it's been like a month since it seems like it's been like a month since we talked about this, and it's only been a week. Like, right. That's how crazy it's been so far. Boy, it's a tough road for the Raiders. I will be honest right now, but I actually think they have a great chance to win because they keep getting lucky. Let's see, week 12 they played the Broncos, and they benched Simeon and Osweiler, and so they started Paxton Lynch, who the Broncos admitted that they weren't even sure about. So the Raiders got a break on that one.
That's terrible.
Then in week 13, the whole Eli Manning saga happened, where they benched Eli Manning. Ben McAdoo says, we're going in a different direction. And of course, it worked out for the Raiders.
As the Giants said, you go that way.
And in week 14 this week, the Chiefs come out and say Marcus Peters is being suspended for this game. Fantastic. The defense of the Kansas City Chiefs is already terrible, and now Marcus Peters is going to be benched. I love it. Are they going to keep getting lucky? Probably not. I mean, that would be like week 17, Phillip Rivers gets benched. I mean, if that happens, everyone play the lottery, because you're going to get lucky. No, I like the Chargers' chances better.
Okay.
So I still am going to say I am on the Chargers bandwagon in the sense of they're going to win the AFC West.
Okay.
But I really do think that the Raiders have a chance. Yes, they play the Chiefs this week, but their defense is depleted. And with the Raiders going on kind of a 2-game winning streak, this actually might help them with the big MO on their side.
Right.
Momentum. So I feel like the Raiders have a fighting chance. After the Chiefs, they're going to be playing the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys, it depends on if Sean Lee is going to be playing, because I know Sean Lee is playing this week, but, he does get injured a lot.
Yeah.
And they're without Ezekiel Elliott, which actually could help. And I will say this, and I know a lot of people are going to look at the numbers and go, no, you're wrong. But the Raiders' defense has been better the last 2 games since they fired Ken Norton Jr.
Not by much. Slightly
Interesting. Better. And we've gotten turnovers. I'm pondering.
All right, I love the Raiders, but let's err on the side of caution. It was Geno Smith that caused those 2 fumbles, and we had Paxton Lynch throw a ball that got tipped, and Bowman was luckily on the ground to catch the interception. So yes, creating turnovers, but pump the brakes on the defense, because if the Cowboys come into town, especially our home turf, and you got Alfred Morrison running on us, then it basically then it's that whole logic is just kind of out the door.
I will say this, going with the Raiders defense, excuse me. I think their rush defense is actually a little bit better with Navarro Bowman. Their pass defense is what I'm concerned about. And if you make Dak Prescott pass over 30 times, he's not as effective as when he's only passing like 25 times. So I feel like they could play him. Now they're playing the Eagles in Week 16.
That's a tough matchup.
That's going to be the tough one, and it's in Philadelphia. But I feel like if the Raiders can get momentum to Philadelphia, they have a chance. It's
chance.
1 in a million chance, but you're saying there's a chance. Okay, so. I'm still saying the Chargers, but I will say that the Raiders do have a fighting chance. I think the Chiefs, with everything that's going on right now, I think they are completely crumbling, and I think they're just... And Kansas City fans want Patrick Mahomes. Maybe Andy Reid might crack under pressure. I don't think he will.
I don't think it's the right time to do so. Exactly. I think Alex Smith has played way out of his mind. It's that defense. You can't bench him for the defense. I don't think that's very fair. Anyways.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, the Seahawks surprised everyone by dominating. I put dominating the Eagles. I know the score may not show that much, but honestly, I was watching that game with my father-in-law, and we were both going, good God, Carson Wentz's MVP talk? And he looked terrible. I mean, he did, and he had over 300 yards. I mean, they were driving down the field, and they could not do anything else. I was very surprised.
Right.
Having said that, who's the best team in the NFC with Eagles now losing their 2nd game of the year?
Minnesota Vikings. They've got the all-around defense. I know that Case Keenum isn't like a all-pro kind of type of quarterback, but you know what? He reminds me of like a Brad Johnson, of a Trent Dilfer, a game manager, but he's got something about him that his team wants to fight for him, and he's got phenomenal receivers. You got Thielen, you got Diggs, you've got Rudolph at your tight end, and you've got Murray and McKinnon, who kind of is a change of pace, and he can catch out of the backfield. When they get Cooks back next year, they're going to be a really serious team. Not that they're not serious already. I think they're the best NFC team right now, and their defense dominates, and their offense follows suit. They can score points in bunches if they need to, but they rely on their defense to kind of hold it down. They're my best. They're the best NFC team in my opinion right now.
I like the pick. I love the Vikings. Honestly, I looked at this and go, okay, who's going to make waves in the playoffs? And I don't think the Vikings can because of Case Keenum.
Right.
I think he's good and he's working, but when the playoffs come, it is a different animal when you talk about regular season versus the playoffs.
Right.
Ask Peyton Manning and ask Tom Brady.
Yep.
I honestly can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to go with the Rams. I think the Rams are very good, and I think Todd Gurley has been underrated all year long.
Yep.
He has done nothing but everything for the Rams, and I wanted to say St. Louis. It's Los Angeles. Still not used to it. Jared Goff, with the resurgence this year, has been fantastic. Sean McVay has made that team. But what I love the Rams most of, and I've always loved them for the past 5 years, they've had a very stellar defense that has been so underrated that no one talks about.
Right.
The Rams are very good. You have Aaron Donald in the middle who stops the run every time, it seems like. I love Alec Ogletree. The way he's come up from last year, he just all of a sudden came into the guy that they thought he was going to be, and this year has not changed. They have a very underrated secondary with that Joyner kid. I like that defense, and then the offense is really complementary to that defense. I like the Rams right now. I like how they're moving, and I think they could be the Seahawks team, who I think is actually a very strong team.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion right now, I like the Eagles, but I like the Rams more.
Right. That's a good pick.
All right. Falcons lose and are currently out of the playoffs. And they're tied 17-17 right now, currently, in the fourth quarter on Thursday night. Do they get in the playoffs, or are they going to stay out?
In a quick answer, well, actually, update. They are up 20-17 on the Saints right now. Less than 4 to go in the fourth. Anyways, I don't think that they're going to get in. I think that the Saints and the Panthers still are better of the team of the Falcons. They just seem to, their offense gets going, and then Matt Ryan or something happens where it kind of slows it down. So short answer, no, the Falcons are not going to get in. I don't even think they'll make a wild card. I just think that division's too tough. I wouldn't be surprised if we had 2 teams come out of the South and not one of the teams not being Atlanta Falcons. So
yeah, I say no to the Falcons. Their defense isn't as good as it was last year, and Matt Ryan is not as good as he was last year.
Yeah.
And he's throwing he threw 3 picks already today, and it hasn't looked great. Julio Jones is hit and miss this year, which is really weird because he's obviously a top 3 receiver in the league.
Yeah.
And when you don't throw to him is odd to me.
Right, exactly.
And so I just feel like they're not clicking on offense, and I feel like their defense is kind of being affected by that.
Right.
I like the Falcons team, but the Cowboys are making a resurgence, and then also the Packers. I would say watch out for the Green Bay Packers. They play Cleveland. If they beat Cleveland this week, Aaron Rodgers comes back next week.
Yeah, I know. You picked him off the waivers, I saw. I know you were doing that just right.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching our videos. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Drew Code Sports Talk.
And also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which is, ironically, Drew Code Sports Talk. High five.